Okay, so this video is going to be on ratio and calculating different things involving ratio. Okay, so let's look at the very first example. Now, here I want to split an amount into a given ratio. So I'm asked to split the amount 135 into the ratio 3 to 7 to 5. Now, every single one of these questions, the first thing that we're going to be wanting to do is try and find out what one part of the ratio is worth. Now, in this case, we know that the entire amount is made up of 3 parts, 7 parts, and 5 parts. So in total, in the entire amount, I've got 3 plus 7 plus 5. I've got 15 parts in total. Now, after I've found that out, I can find out what one part is worth, because I know that 135 is worth 15, so if I divide that by 15, I get what one part is worth, which is £9. So now that I know that one part is worth £9, I can quite easily work out what 3 parts is, 27. I can also work out what 7 parts is, multiplying 63. And finally, I can work out what 5 parts is worth, multiplying by 9, which is 45. Just put pound signs on because I'm dealing in money. Right, the great thing about this ratio question is that I've got a really nice little check. Okay, I've got these amounts 27, 63, and 45. And if this is correct, they should add up to 135. So 7, 3, and 5 is 15. 6 and 4 is 10, plus 2 and 1 is 13. So I got 135. I know that this is correct. So another question they could ask you on your GCSE is where they give you half of the ratio and you need to find the other half of the ratio. So in this question, blue and yellow are combined in the ratio of 5 to 7 to create green. If 195 millilitres of blue has been used, how much yellow is needed to create green? So, reading the question really carefully, we can see that 195 millilitres of just blue has been used. Okay, so in the last question, if you remember, we had the value for the entire ratio. Here we just have the value for blue. So again, we can use this in order to find out what one part is worth. So we know that 195 is worth 5 parts because blue comes first in the question and 5 comes first in the ratio. So we divide it by 5. And doing this, we get 39 millilitres is 1 part. So if we wanted to find out what 7 parts is worth, then all we need to do is do 39 multiplied by 7. Okay, so doing this in our heads, we get 273 millilitres. Okay, so the last question I'm going to do an example of is slightly harder. So I'm just going to read the question out. Steve and Millie share money in the ratio of 5 to 8. So Steve, being the first person mentioned, has got the 5, and Millie, being the second person, has the 8. If Millie gets £33 more than Steve, how much does Steve receive? Right, so in this case, we're not actually told how much Steve gets or how much Millie gets. Instead, we're told their difference. Now, this is going to work out exactly the same. Okay, we're going to first find out how many parts in the ratio are different between Steve and Millie. And the difference between Millie's 8 and Steve's 5 is 3. So we know that this 33 is representing 3 parts. And again, remember, we always want to try and find out what one part is worth, so we're going to divide it by 3. And so each part is worth £11. So I'm interested in how much Steve receives. Now I know that Steve has 5 parts of the ratio, so all I need to do is 5 times 11. I get Steve's amount, which is 55. Now, if you were interested in checking this, you can always work out Millie's amount quite easily, which is 8 times 11, which is 88. And if we have got it right, then hopefully the difference between those two should be £33. And if we do 88 take away 55, we do get £33 as a difference. So we know we've got it right. Okay, so have a go at some of the exam questions. Make sure that you're revising ratio, especially in conjunction with finding fractions of amounts and percentages of amounts. There are a lot of questions that I have seen in which you have to do all three disciplines in order to answer the final question. Okay, good luck.